Since the beginning of my memories, I liked staying up late. There was so much exciting and interesting stuff going on in the world, like watching anime or watching anime. And you want me to sleep? Just like that? From 1 minute to the other? I could never. This in turn caused me to be very weak in the mornings. I used to sleep until the very last minute and then dash out the door with such precarious timing that every morning felt like playing a game of Russian roulette to see if I would make it to the bus stop in time for school.
Living on the edge since I was born.
However, you might have noticed I didn't have any time to eat breakfast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I exchanged food for anime. So I would usually get really hungry during class, and my stomach would grumble. For some reason, only when the whole class was silent. Gosh, I hate myself sometimes. You probably know that feeling. It's so embarrassing. So sometimes I would try to sneak a bite or two when a teacher was facing away from us. 7, could you read the next passage? At times like this. And I had one dish I used to love above all others: tomato egg stir fry. It's simple, hearty, warm, not too dry, not too runny, and just about everyone likes it. So much so that it is considered the representative of a home-cooked meal in China. At one point, it was practically the only thing I ate, and I was convinced I could continue to do that for the rest of my life. But I guess you can become sick of even your favorite meals once you eat way too much of it. For years, just thinking about it made me lose my appetite. That taught me to pace myself so I don't burn out on my favorite foods. Or so you would think. Yeah, it happened again. With bread. Bread that could be considered possibly the soul of German cuisine. Oh, did I mention I'm Chinese German? Don't ask me how I survived that period. These foods were not only my favorites, but also ridiculously easy and convenient to make. Since then, I have recovered from tomato eggs, and I'm still on the road of recovery from my bread overdose. Contrary to that time, you can also suddenly come to like foods you previously hated. As you grow up, so do your taste buds, I guess? I still remember my very first experience with German food. Since we usually cook Chinese at home, I used to eat Chinese for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And on my first day in preschool, I think it was for lunch, we had mashed potatoes, and every kid had a big portion of mashed potatoes on their plate, and for some reason, I remember in oddly specific detail how exactly they used to eat that. First, they would scoop a little bit of mashed potatoes onto their forks, and then eat like the outer layer of that scoop, and it would look so delicious. I actually thought it looked like vanilla ice cream, especially also because of the color. Awesome, I thought. I like ice cream. But I wasn't prepared at all about the taste. To be frank, it tasted like cardboard. I could feel all the grains of that potato essence from the instant mashed potato powder, and it felt like my tongue was scraped hard with a piece of sandpaper. After that, I used to avoid eating mashed potatoes at all costs. If I had an option, I would just go for the other menu, and if not, I would just skip the main part and just eat the vegetables. For some reason, miraculously, I'm not picky with vegetables. It wasn't until the 8th or 9th grade I gave it another chance after strong persuasion of my friends, and it was actually surprisingly good. I guess taste buds do really change. Other than that, I was just a really picky and slow eater.
I'm not picky, I just have standards.
I remember always finishing last and sitting alone at the table after all the other kids were already done with their meal. I was really slow, and I had so much left to chew. I remember the annoyance I felt at all the food that was seemingly staring at me as if it was asking me, how long are you gonna take? Shut up! Nowadays, I eat a lot faster, but I still get a bit lazy when I think about all the chewing that I have to do. On top of that, I need to do adult things now, like cooking, washing dishes, buy groceries, and also don't even get me started on that sluggish feeling after finishing a meal. And the aftercare you need to do, you know what I mean. Sometimes I daydream about a distant time on Earth where you can become cyborgs and exchange pieces of your body as you wish. I think I would want to swap out my digestive system for a charging dock instead, for sure. Ugh, imagine me charging myself with electricity. That would be kinda cool. That being said, to end this video off on a more conventionally optimistic note, I actually have a lot of foods I like. And I'm really glad that I have the privilege to eat and taste them and to even experience foods from other cultures. In my very first draft of the script, I actually had an introduction to different foods I liked, but I thought it was too much of a tangent and kind of not interesting to watch, so I cut that off. And I was convinced I could I'm not picky, I just have standards. Standards.